Hello everyone, welcome to this session again. This is Vincent Obita, and today I've just brought you some of my good friends. They've been friends for a good time, and we want to have some few discussions concerning the journey on and to how various nurses finds their way to the UK. So welcome everyone, and we have Jante and we have Tina. They will have a session to introduce themselves. So we can start from the extreme left. That's Jante. Okay, take it away.
All right. Hi guys. My name is Janet, and to begin with this journey to the UK, it's not something that I dreamt of, but it just came seeing friends and colleagues daring abroad. So I said, why not give it a try? So my journey began in 2019 during the time COVID started. And at this time, it was a bit difficult because the people went into lockdown. So we had to wait for was it almost 1 year and some months?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So it wasn't easy, but I tried. So first things first, for you to go to UK, you need to do your IELTS exams.
Yeah.
Yeah, this IELTS is you do the listening skills, writing, speaking, and reading, which you have to have a band.
A minimum band of seven.
Yeah.
So
seven.
that's a bit raised for everyone. Yeah.
So the training is rigorous compared to people going to the US, because for them they need a band of 6. And putting so many factors in, you're working, someone is a family person, you really need to tie up your lace. And
did you have to kind of get a trainer, or you did it by yourself?
Yeah, I had to look for a trainer because it's not an easy skill to read. Being in that I was working and I was still a family person, it wasn't that easy.
Okay.
So trying to find someone like a trainer who will have to push you that you need to do the assignments, you need to submit them, like they give you a time frame, so you work with the
timeline.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very fine.
Yeah.
So for you, Tina, how was your encounter with your IELTS preparation? Because that marks the beginning of this journey.
Oh, wow. I think everyone's journey is usually unique. For me, my journey, I had to get a trainer. I did my training for 6 weeks, where you start with what they term as simplest.
Okay.
We started with listening, then went on to... We finished with writing, went on to reading, and then... Which one is the other one?
The listening, speaking, writing.
I think speaking was the last one, because by the time you get to speaking, you've already gained all the other skills, and you can actually be able to
express yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough. Now, the moment that's a bit different with mine. I had to train, then COVID struck. I had to pause for almost a year. Then now I had to resume again and all that. And remember, the more you don't train, you tend to forget. Yeah. Now, we've passed the IELTS. Then what next? How was the next portion actually is now getting the registration with the NMC. Yeah, that's the nursing regulation body in the United Kingdom. And you have to do computer-based test. It's not badly off. I'm sure you all went through it nicely, wasn't it?
Well, I can say mine wasn't that smooth, because immediately I finished my IELTS. Luckily enough, I passed with the first attempt. So after that, booking my NMC CBT test was a challenge, because COVID had struck in our country. So we went into kind of lockdown. Most of the things had been stopped. So I had to wait for 5 months. I got my IELTS in February. Then I did my NMC CBT in August. So you can see like a wait of 6 months.
Okay, that was a very long wait. Jante, did you have to wait for long after passing your IELTS?
I didn't have to wait that long. Mine, I did IELTS the first attempt and I failed on the reading part. Then I had to do it the second time. So after the second time of doing it, I had already booked in for my NMC CBT.
Yeah.
And as Christina said, during that time, the country was in lockdown. So you can imagine you can't proceed any further.
Yeah.
On checking the NMC portal, you find that the Nairobi sites were all booked until the August.
Yeah.
Yes, there was a backlog.
I think
that's the point you think out of the box.
Yeah.
I had to book my exams in Uganda.
Yeah.
And it was in lockdown.
Yeah.
I had to you get the COVID pass. It wasn't an easy journey, and going to Uganda, you have to look for accommodation. You don't know. It's like you're going to a wilderness. You don't know
where you are going.
How you'll get in and how you'll come out. You see.
Yeah.
So, Grace B, we pushed through because the moment you know you want this, you have to go for it.
Yeah.
So I went to Uganda and did my CBT.
Yeah.
The next day when I was coming back, I got my results you passed.
Yeah, I think that's the same situation with my scenario, because when I checked the next bookings for the CBT exams, there were some 6 months later on. That's when we could get a date. So we had to book days back in Uganda, get the COVID first. Just as you have said, it was a tricky moment. The good thing with CBT, you do it today, and you get your results immediately. And that's when now it clicked on us that now the journey was really moving. Now, in that case, after getting the 2 passes, then now you have now to move towards getting employment. And that one you could do now the interviews. You can opt to have register directly to the hospitals or go through agency. For me, I went through agency. So I was able to get an agency who sourced me an employer, and with that one we were able to do an interview which I passed, and now we were able to get a certificate of sponsorship. How was that similar case for you, Tina?
Well, before you do the interview, I think there's also the due diligence of doing a research of where you want to come here and work.
Exactly.
Because there's care homes, we have the NHS, and we also have the private sector. So for me, during that time, when I first finished my NMC, there were no jobs through my agency. So we were just taking whatever job that comes up. So at first I did an interview for a care home, which I didn't pass. Because one of the things about interviews, I think I wasn't prepared. I just went in
just to check what is available.
To have the experience, to check what's available.
And again, that was kind of your first international interview. Sure.
And I was so ready for so many questions which I wasn't asked.
Okay. Don't you think the
interview was lighter than what I expected?
it was more of nursing than the medical that we are used to. Okay, that's fair enough. What about your case in terms of interview and all that?
For me, I wasn't that much prepared because my agents told me just the normal nursing skills, the day-to-day skills that you do as a nurse. That's what they will really ask.
Okay.
And according to the NMC, the nursing body in the UK, what do they cover? What do they expect a nurse to do? Do you know the patient's rights? Do you know your rights? Just that. And I wasn't that much prepared. So he told me as long as you have the confidence, yes, you can know something, but if you don't have the confidence, everything just goes away. So just develop the confidence in you, and everything will be fine. So I did my interview within less than 15 minutes.
the good thing with the interviews, again, you also get your response like promptly.
I got my response like congratulations the very same day.
Yeah.
You see,
which is very encouraging.
Which is very encouraging, and you're like,
Yeah, not the one we are used to that we will communicate.
Back to you in due time. Till today, you're still waiting.
Yeah. I wish that's how everything
exactly
should be everywhere. Oh, that's very cool. Now, Tina, can you just maybe take us through? Now, you've done your interviews, you've passed, yeah? After that, what time frame does you have to get to the UK, and maybe just the logistics that are involved, so that maybe others who are opting for the same can just know like what they might expect with the IELTS, CBT, and interview done?
Well, so after you've done your interview, you've passed, the next thing that the trust does, they'll get some documents from you so that they can be able to process your certificate of sponsorship.
Yeah.
And your certificate of sponsorship, from the time of application, it will depend with your trust. Some can take long, some others can take a shorter time. Like for me, I think it took 2 weeks to get the certificate of sponsorship.
Yeah.
Then after that, then you can be able to apply for your visa from your country. In the same time, I think when you're getting your certificate of sponsorship, I think that's the point where you go and get your TB certificate.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, from the IOM, yeah?
Yes, from the international
IOM. Yeah. International Organization of Migration. Whichever the case, Ilgigiri, yeah. Those are things that you need to kind of prepare as your agency is working on the paperwork. You get your TB certificate, get your police clearance. That's the good conduct and things, because they will want like an updated police clearance form, and those are the things you process.
Yes, I think, and another thing, you just have to be aware that these things can affect how fast you'll get your visa coming here.
Yeah.
If your TB certificate turns positive, it might mean a delay.
Yeah.
So they're all integrated together and they affect each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really the case for this process of crossing to the UK. Now, all the things process. How was the feeling once you've received your COS? And by the way, when you receive your COS, that's the certificate of sponsorship, it states your starting date, and that's the date. By that date, you should be in the UK, yeah. And when you cross into the UK, then that means you've just started your work, and now you will be able to get into the payroll straight away. How was the feeling with now getting the certificate of sponsorship and all of that?
Oh, I think you feel like most of the darkness on the way has been cleared, and your path becomes more clearer because you already know the region where you're going, which hospital you're going, and you're somehow assured about your visa.
Yeah, exactly, because the visa is not quite far away.
Yes.
Yeah, and the moment they apply, normally the trusts apply for the urgent visa, so it takes a very short time. Yeah.
In 2 weeks' time.
In 2 weeks' time, you've got your visa. That's when now you should now start. No, by that time you are actually packing, is it? So.
No, we start packing way after getting the COS. You start packing your things.
Okay.
Because the COS gives you the permit to work.
Okay. Yeah. To stay. Live to stay. Live to stay. That's the word. Okay. Now, how was the feeling? Now you are leaving your family and all that. Jante, how did you go through that?
Yes, it's a mixed feeling because dream come true. You're leaving your family behind. You want to venture into a greener pasture. Like, you don't know what you're going to expect on the other side. So for me, like, I saw it like, okay, let me go and give it a try. Like when I was back home, you could see people say like, oh no, there's no good money like we expected. Some people say like, oh, you come, you're being put like a slave. And I said, let me come and give it a try. I want to see for for myself. Yeah, you see, and in this life, everyone has got a different perception on everything. Like, for me, I can see a glass and say, okay, this glass is not safe to use. Someone is like, oh, I just clean it and use it. So everyone has a different perception to every aspect of life and everything in this journey. Yeah.
Okay, that's very nice. Tina, how did your family bid you farewell?
They were very excited, but at the same time, I was also excited, but I was also sad leaving them. You know, going to a new environment, and we had been warned about the culture shock. Their way of life is different from what I'm used to. Well, I can say it was just a mixed feeling.
Yeah, that's very funny because for me, my family was happy. So my dad was like, are you really kind of leaving? So how long have you been planning for this? Yet all that period I've been informing him of the updates. So it was like, he was happy.
Shocked.
Yeah, he was happy, but again it's like, it will take some time for me to see you. Yeah, that was a really there was dilemma in that point, and also some mixed feelings and things of that kind, which for humans that's very much okay.
just leaving your home place and coming to a new environment, trying to adapt. It's not something that you just get in and then boom, the next day you're okay. It takes time.
Okay, since this was kind of, you are not just maybe going for vacay and things of that kind, how was your first few months in UK, and maybe now the transition? How did you have your transition and things of that kind? And remember, it was the COVID period, so remember there was also the part of quarantine. How was it, Tina?
Well, for me, I was so eager to visit the place and see everything. So when we landed, we first went for the quarantine for 10 days. After the 10 days, that's when we were allowed to move around. So definitely I had to go to the hospital, see the hospitals, visit the environment or the environs and see what's going on. Unfortunately, when we came in, they were still under lockdown. So most of the places were closed. We had to get used now to the online shopping, which was something that I was not used to. What else?
Okay, that's fair enough. Jante, how was your first few days?
First few days, just sleeping in a hotel, quarantine, like, wow, I've never taken myself for this trip. So I am in Heathrow, the hotel's there. Just having some good time resting, but then at the back of your mind you're like, it's really coming true. So like you want to feel it's a true thing, and then like, is it really true? You're still in that dilemma, you see.
I think with the whole journey comes with a lot of stress. And according to me, the 12 days quarantine was like resting mode. You rest before getting tired. Then now, one thing that maybe the viewers and those who opt for the international or overseas nursing would like to know is the part of now getting integrated into the nursing system of a different country, be it UK, Australia, or US, or even Canada. So in UK we have the OSCE. It's one of the things that most people tend to get to know when they arrive. They know it will be there, but they are not aware how rigorous it is. And actually this channel is full of OSCE videos. Keep on watching. Now, in terms of OSCE and getting integrated into the system, how did you find your preparation of OSCE, the OSCE exam and things of that kind? Just a brief one.
Alright, so when I was still back, I had 2 of my colleagues who came over, so I was so eager. Like, how is it? I need to prepare. So I'm back home. I want to check on the videos. Like, I really need to have a clue on what is happening. And they're like, take your time. That's the one that you're going to see. It's not the OSCE. You come in class and you'll get the real OSCE.
Okay.
So going to class is the real OSCE, because you can't be watching something that you haven't been taught. Yes, it will just be like, okay,
you're going through it,
but then you don't get it something like tangible. So like when you go into the classes is when you get like, what? Is this what I was taught in school? Like, it's a totally different thing.
And system altogether.
It's a different thing. So like, you just need to put your mind into it and give it your best, because if you fail, just imagine like you have to pay like £700 for the exams.
For maybe just a single station.
And you have to do just a single station. You pay the whole amount for it, and by the time you're doing the OSCE, it's the hospital that has paid for your exams. Like, you pay nothing.
Okay.
When I was coming, I didn't even have to pay a shilling. Like, my agency took up all
the
bills, everything.
Okay.
They had to even reimburse me my CBT, my IELTS.
Okay.
You see,
good for you.
They paid the visa, they paid my flight,
and all
they
that.
paid the hotels for quarantine for 10 days.
To me, it's advisable for you to invest your time in this OSCE so that you do it once and just give it a pass one time, so that because mind-wise it also drags you behind, because when others are proceeding, you have to do your receipt and all. It gives you some mental torture.
It also affects your PIN. Like, you can imagine, like, you did exams with your batch, and then they get their PIN. You see, yours will come much later, and it also affects like the increment in every year salary.
Okay. Tina, how was your experience also same for OSCE training and all that?
I think the batch that we came with, we were all divided. We had some people who are doing the exams like a week after their landing, after they finished their quarantine. So they started their preparation earlier, and they would pre-warn us, you guys, when you're coming here, please make sure you prepare. We're also preparing. They would improvise everything from medication. Some of them would use like the packets, put stones inside, and then while they are training. So coming here, the training was really vigorous, and for us it was online.
Okay.
We only did 3 days with Gilbert. So you can imagine now, after the 3 days, he tells you you're ready to go. And you're not sure. It's like
scary.
That's different from our case, whereby we had like a whole month
6
training.
weeks training.
You can imagine 3 days. After the 3 days, you're done with your training, and we didn't do it like physically. We did it online. So after that, we had also done our occupational.
There's occupational assessment. So the wards were ready for us. We were to go to the wards to go and start as band 4s. So we really didn't have the time. We were under very much pressure. And now you've come here, you're used to doing things straight away. Now you have to learn to look for the safety, make sure you're doing things by the book. And these actually are safety measures that ought to be observed everywhere. It's only that maybe the system were not allowing them to be done earlier on, and now you kind of being reduced to a student somehow.
Yes, and learning of every new skill, it's challenging, because when you're listening or when you're watching someone do it, you will feel like you know it.
It's very
till when it's your turn. You only have 10 minutes. That's when you realize you're forgetting everything. You're forgetting to hand wash. You're forgetting.
You have 8 minutes to demonstrate your skill. And they say that however much you are given time, if you were to demonstrate your skill, you ought to demonstrate it within the shortest time possible. To mean that you have to get the skills, do them as required. Now that just captures the whole transition on how to just get on the NMC register. Just as we are winding up for this video, you see majority are usually triggered by the aspect not only for exploration but also maybe money wise and things of that kind. Tina, would you recommend how would you recommend someone who is yearning to do the same, and maybe their aspiration is different from what drove you here?
I'd say for UK, if you're money driven, I think it might not be the place for you.
Yeah.
It will you have to be patient. That's the point.
Yeah.
You have to be patient, because coming in the first year, you'll be attached to your trust that time, and it's like a learning period. You've just received your PIN. You don't want to start risking, because for me, since I've come here, it's like I've had to learn things again.
Yeah.
Because starting from the wards, the conditions that you're managing, what you're used to managing is very different. What you learned in school, most of the conditions that we learned in school
are different
from what we have here.
Yeah.
Yes. Things like, I'd say for me, one of the shocking things, like stroke, back in our country, we only did it as I'd say a chapter in a unit.
Yeah.
Like one lecture.
Yeah.
And then you come here, you find like a whole stroke unit.
Yeah. Which actually we will cover in our next video on our experience in every ward. You find like a very new thing altogether, and you have to learn like the very basics of handling a particular condition.
Yes.
Because like a whole unit is only for a particular case. She's working in the stroke ward. I work in endoscopy unit. Jante, where do you work?
I work in orthopedics and trauma.
Yeah, so you find like these, they're just aspects that are particularly attached to these units, of which now you have to learn from the scratch and even build on what you had learned earlier on. I think that one captures a good, gives us a good view on how one can transition through this journey to UK. Jante, can you estimate how much it costed you to do the entire process? Yeah, because some people consider it to be very costly. Yeah,
it's costly because you can't just say let me save for the journey to the UK.
Yeah,
the small money you get,
do the bits,
finish. The small money you get, register CBT. The small money you get, like apply for the NMC.
Do them in bits instead of kind of you are accumulating
a bulk of money that really you need to like do like the moment and
deal with
close
what
the chapter.
The next step, it's like levels. And you're graduating from one level to the other, from IELTS, from training. If you've paid, you now have to pay for the exam. After that, you now have to pay to get into the register. Then wait for some few weeks to be approved by your own nursing council. Then pay for the exams. So it's like bit by bit. Don't burden yourself thinking that I have to have
too much.
Like a bulk of some money to pay all at once. No.
Okay. That covers a very, very critical point that most people do mess around and do think like it's very expensive. I have to kind of invest and get some money and things of that kind, which is according to what they have just said, seems to be like not the easiest to do. So thank you guys, we really appreciate for your time. Continue subscribing to this channel and keep it logged, so that you continue getting more information concerning our nursing journey. Next video we will cover various experiences that we've been able to encounter in different units where we are working. Thank you so much, and we wish you all the best. See you then, and continue subscribing. Bye.